Good evening. Scene this night in New Sarum finds Stefan Braunfieler coming up on the home stretch of the Plimpton Diner. As he walks down the street, he can start to see the bright lights all around the building, and then after a little bit further, the sign, maybe one letter is flickering a bit, but for the most part, it's kept up fairly well. Or maybe perhaps they've replaced a light bulb, but it comes into view. He continues his walk, of course, until he approaches the building, walks in. Tonight, he feeling a little bit more stable, I suppose, a little bit more in his right mind, if there's even such a thing anymore. He's here with purpose. He's here to see if perhaps he runs into that individual that he encountered on the docks, albeit trying to subvert the attention of the mortal away from his clanmate Axel. Perhaps there's a chance that he started coming here. This is what Stefan is wondering. As he walks into the diner, he tries to find a familiar seat along the left of the building, a relatively low lit corner. The lights in the 2-3 booths in this corner seem to be set a little bit lower, maybe weaker bulbs. Finding that that's available, he goes and takes a seat, ordering a cup of coffee with another cup on hold for the moment.
Okay, the waitress comes over, of course, says, "How are you doing, sir?" And you order your coffee, and she'll go and get it right now. Upon cursory glance, you don't see this person you're looking for. You see a young lady towards the back exit. Well, two. They're not sitting together. You see the back of a young lady's head, and it's a strange color. Her hair is like a bright neon blue. Clearly, she either colored her hair or is wearing a wig or something. You don't know. And then you see another nice-looking lady with a brown hair. And it looks like she's having, a greasy late dinner or something. Maybe she was partying a little bit and is just trying to sober up a tad before going home. And of course, you see maybe one or two patrons towards the front of the diner as well. An older man, maybe a truck driver, stopping, as well as maybe a couple of people there, nondescript, people that don't really interest you at the moment. It doesn't take long for the waitress to come by and drop off your coffee. She kind of gives you a sweet smile before she says, "Is there anything else I can do for you, dear? Do you want Greg over there to make you up anything?"
Oh, not at the moment. I just needed something to help the digestive process from after dinner.
Right. All right. Well, if you need anything, you just let me know. And she kind of just wanders off. Give me a perception alertness.
Okay. Double check. Yep. One of my best dice pools.
Cool.
Standard difficulty or up one?
Yeah, standard difficulty. Okay. How many do you got there? 4?
4.
Okay. As you kind of are glancing around looking for this gentleman who you don't see, you see kind of a strange strange sight. You at the window of the diner, looking right at you is a gray tabby cat, or a brownish gray tabby cat. You see them all over the place. He looks really well fed. He's just kind of looking at you. He's not even flinching. Or she.
No.
You don't know if it's he or she.
Huh. And there's you said there's an you mean sitting on the windowsill?
Yeah, not in the building, but he's looking in.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
looking.
yeah.
He's from the outside looking in, just looking
Yeah.
at you.
Gonna try to get the attention of the waitress. Just kind of tell her I'm gonna step outside for a little bit, and kind of cover my coffee a little bit to keep it warm while I'm away from it, and head outside to the cat.
Okay. As you head outside, she'll just be yeah, sure, no problem. As you head outside, um, the cat, kind of watches you as you walk out, walk around. You can actually kind of hear it meowing. It just goes meow, meow, really loud at the window. And as you exit the diner, you can see it jump down from the sill and kind of head towards the back of the diner into an alleyway.
Interesting. I'm going to kind of walk around to where the cat was sitting looking at me,
Okay.
and then just kind of look around a little bit.
Sure. You get to the windowsill, and when you look in, you can see, you can see where you're sitting. You can also see, the older gentleman reading his paper. You can see the younger lady with brown hair eating a breakfast, a late night breakfast, I guess. And then you see the other lady with the blue hair. She's not even eating anything. It looks like she's just kind of typing on her phone. And as you kind of look through the window, you kind of see her just take a little bit of a start as she kind of turns and looks over towards the window at you. And then just kind of raises her eyebrow a little bit, like, what the hell are you doing, guy? Before getting back to her phone.
I'm going to walk towards the back of the diner, looking around, left, right, kind of slowly walking towards the back where the cat ran, just to kind of, I don't know, odd predilection going through his head. He can't really explain it at the moment.
Okay. There's no one that you can really see at the moment as you walk towards the back. And as you turn into the alley and walk a little bit, you can see the cat kind of sitting on top of the dumpster again, kind of just looking at you and just going meow, meow.
Gonna kind of lower my go from standing to kind of half like kneeling a little bit or half kneeling. Just kind of lower myself and try to, I mean, that kind of thing, or kind of, and like try to hold my hand out in a non-threatening way. Try to kind of, see if it actually comes near me.
No, it doesn't, but it doesn't run from you either. It just kind of looks at you and meows.
Curious. Yeah. Quite curious. This last animal I encountered started barking at me. It's quite odd. It's an alley cat. It's nothing. And I kind of look both ways, left, right, and then just kind of start heading back into the diner.
Okay. As you head back in, the cat follows you, meowing. Not very often, just meowing.
Huh. Gonna kind of not turning around. I'm gonna kind of kneel a little bit and then just kind of turn my head and I guess attempt to show it I'm not a threat. Maybe attempt to maybe coerce it closer.
Okay, roll charisma animal kin.
Which is just charisma at it'll be 1. Is that the normal or is that the increased? Because I don't got
the increased because you have no animal kin.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I keep that.
It would be DC 6 if you had some, but you don't. Sorry, bud.
Right. No. It's perfectly fine. I mean, how often do I do this anyway, right?
Right.
Jesus.
Okay.
Holy crap.
So you seem non-threatening to the cat. Of course, it's wary because you're a stranger to it. But it does come closer to you. And the strange thing about it when you look at him is this cat looks really well taken care of. It doesn't look like a stray at all.
Does it have a collar on?
No, you don't see a collar, but you don't see fleas. Its fur looks clean. Its eyes looks clear. No, its ears look clean. Things like that. No collar though.
Cool.
But he comes closer, but he does what cats do. They're just out of your reach, They'll stand like right at the very edge of your fingertips.
It's okay, little friend. Curious. Huh. I wonder what it is you are doing out. Must have some kind of home to go to.
Okay. Roll perception awareness.
Perception awareness?
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Okay. So
I don't know if that's a success.
Yeah, it's a success. The feeling you get is, you're getting, I guess the willies wouldn't be the word, but you just get like maybe a little tingling feeling in your spine. Like this isn't normal.
Like, okay. Yeah, like I guess the crude word would be like that weird sixth sense kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's not exactly like you don't feel threatened, just like
no.
Something's up. Something's up. Can't put your finger on it.
That not the tingle of I don't know, or not the tingle of something threatening, but the tingle of what's going on here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay.
Stay right there, little friend. I will bring you something. And I very, very carefully, gingerly, kind of stand back up to my feet and head back into the diner. And,
as you stand up and turn, you're immediately at eye level with the girl with blue hair from the diner. She looks at you with her head tilted, and she's like, "What are you doing out here?" And I'll bring up a picture so you kind of have an idea what she looks like. There you go. You see this girl. She just kind of looks at you, her head tilted, and she's like, "What are you doing out here?"
Well, it's not every night that you see strange, well-kept animals just staring at you while you are sitting in a diner. I simply wanted to see if the animal was okay. Maybe try to discern it.
She kind of looks at you for a moment, really kind of just appraising your appearance. Do you have like blush of health or anything like that?
When when I finish saying that, something kind of dawns on me, and I attempt to flush my skin with a blood point,
Okay.
like reflexively, but not obviously not fast enough, so she might notice something is off.
Uh, yes.
Perhaps.
As you kind of do that, and the redness in your cheeks kind of comes in, her eyes kind of brighten just a bit, and then she looks down at the cat. The cat, um, kind of, perks up a little bit and meows at her a lot, beginning to rub itself against her legs, walking past you, rubbing against your legs. She just kind of tilts her head again. It's just like, hmm.
Interesting. Perhaps we should go back inside. Can I get you something? Coffee, breakfast? Maybe we can talk
No,
at my table.
no, but yeah, sure. Let's go inside. And she'll kind of lean down and pet the cat. And she'll actually pick it up, actually. Um,
Oh,
which is weird. But she'll follow you. She won't say anything. She won't even mention it. She'll act like this is the most natural thing in the world.
I uh, I open the door for her and then follow her in.
Okay. Before she goes into the diner, of course, she places the cat down. Um, and she kind of leans down to it. If you want, roll perception alertness.
Okay.
Okay, you got one success. Um, it kind of she kind of makes a noise at the cat. You're not sure if it's her pet and she's just coddling it or something like that. She kind of pats it on the head and scratches it behind the ears before going into the diner and selecting a seat kind of far away, like you were, kind of off on their own.
Hmm. But not to where I was sitting.
No.
Going to follow her back to that table.
Okay. Gonna bring your coffee with you.
Yes, I will actually go grab that cup of coffee. Like I'll start heading there and then remember. Yes. Keep up appearances, of course. And then head over, kind of correct course correcting.
Okay. She'll just kind of sit down and just kind of wait for you to sit across from her.
That was you have quite vivacious animals.
I like cats a lot.
I have I have heard that they can be quite therapeutic at times. I've never been one for keeping pets for some reason. Too busy sometimes. But
Are you good with pets? Have you ever had them before?
not fun. Not fun.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, things just didn't work out. Like I said, always too busy. Not enough time to show them attention, I suppose.
Right, right. I get it.
Maybe.
I actually really like animals. I like animals more than people, honestly.
Hmm.
They're a lot more honest, I guess. Innocent, maybe is the word. Anyway, that's a weird thing to say when you're introducing yourself. What's your name?
Is Stefan Braunfieler. I'm well, aspiring uh, artist, actually, sculptor.
No. Well, that's cool. That's cool.
And yourself?
You can call me Val. You can call me Val.
Well, quite a pleasure to meet you.
Okay. She seems hesitant when she says call her Val.
Going to attempt to kind of gauge her when she seems hesitant. Maybe see if I can discern. Maybe pick up on something.
Roll perception empathy.
Perception empathy? Okay.
Normal difficulty.
Okay.
Okay.
Looks like 2.
Yeah. She's clearly, I'm just going to give this to you. She's clearly not giving you her real name.
No. I have done you a favor and told the truth. I believe it is only socially cordial to return the favor.
You're calling me a liar? That's awfully rude.
I would never cause an affront to somebody. Just picking up on something.
Oh, good for you. You can still call me Val.
As you wish. As you wish. So what brings you out tonight, Val?
I just wanted to get around some people, you know. Get into the city a bit. I'm actually from outside. I live in the country. Small town to the northwest.
Northwest. Not kind of odd. I've lived in this city for 10 years, and yet I am still unfamiliar with the outlying areas. The northwest, you say?
Mm-hmm.
What is the town?
Fletcher.
Nice place there.
It's quiet.
I can imagine. I can imagine quite a bit. Generally, small towns on this coast tend to be quite quiet. Sometimes even a throwback to an earlier time. Interesting. I myself am here hoping to run into people. Don't know if I will see the person in question, but there's no telling. No telling at all.
Hmm.
So, have you had much success in acquainting yourself with the people of this quite large city?
Oh, I've been in here a while just because I'm just outside of town. I just every once in a while I need to be around the noise, the lights. You know how it is.
All too often. At times, I have to find myself venturing out from my apartment, get away from the quiet, get away from work,
Hmm.
change the scenery. This is why I don't exactly come here too often. Just, I suppose I don't want the place to become too old. But always looking for a good time. Always looking to meet new people. It gives one a reason to celebrate life, to revel in the pleasantries of people willing to talk, people willing to interact and not dismiss you as some jerk on the street.
Well, some people don't trust strangers, and it's only getting worse as the paranoia grows. Paranoia is just a problem.
It can be, but you sound like you speak about things that are more specific. What
Very
kind of paranoia?
Oh, the president's from Kenya and a terrorist. Can't let your kids outside. A pedophile's gonna get them, even though kids have never been safer. Those sorts of things. Everyone's out to get you. Everyone thinks these days. I blame the media, personally.
And in this city, apparently, there is talk on the news of some uprising of people, some gathering of, I suppose, working class individuals.
I've heard that. I've heard there is a police strike coming up. That is quite interesting. And I've been hearing some, I guess, rabble going on in the historic district, which is a shame. The historic district's lovely. I particularly like the Opera House. Have you ever been there?
I have not. I have seen it a couple times, but I have not stepped up close to it. Not once. But the historic district, I believe that is where this army of the people tends to gather. If the media can be believed, of course.
Yeah, you should always take what they say with a grain of salt. But, on the other end, maybe you shouldn't. That just makes you more paranoid.
No. You're absolutely correct. I mean, in the States, yes. From what I've gathered from international news sources, you have to be careful, but they tend to be a little bit more objective. Maybe it is the use of the United States, but who can tell? Do you venture to the opera house often?
No, not anymore. No.
A shame.
It is, isn't it? But yeah, you should check it out. It's a nice place. And of course, I've been going to the clubs more. I was at the Scorpion last week. It was a little bit of a drunken scuffle there, and let's see. I tend to like to go to the Omega sometimes, but they were having some drug problems, so I stopped going there.
As loud and bright as the Emerald Scorpion is, I do tend to enjoy to spend some time there. Quite a lot of students from the university also tend to frequent there. I suppose that's why I like the place. Any place that attracts potential future scholars for some night of recreation is always a good place. It means that there is intelligence in the place.
Out of character, how old does Stephen appear to be?
40.
Okay, so she kind of, as you kind of say that you like to be around students and young people, she just kind of, again, raises an eyebrow a little bit. She's like, "Are you a professor?"
No. I did not take my education past the master's degree. I just simply, it has been years since I graduated, and I suppose I miss interacting with like-minded individuals.
I see. Yeah, well, sorry to disappoint you. I actually dropped out of college.
No, it is a shame.
So,
But for your
and pre-med, actually.
that is a laudable profession.
I didn't really like it. Something my mom wanted me to do.
Ah,
So, honestly, I wasn't really good at it, and I didn't really like it in the first place.
just could not get into it, could not focus on it.
No, it was awful.
Hey,
Just awful.
you seem to like animals quite a lot.
I do. I do.
Perhaps veterinary medicine would suit you.
Nah, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to go back there. Ever. I worked in a couple of the parks around here. There's Washington Square. I was there for a bit. Perranporth was there for a bit. Been in the national park a little bit. But volunteer work, but I kind of stopped.
You should definitely think about, I don't know, one of the two pursuits. Maybe at some point your mind will change about going back to school. I would highly recommend it. Or perhaps going back to the park. They can always use good people to keep up the place.
I'm sure they do. Anyway, it was nice to meet you. Stefan or Stephen? Which did you prefer?
Is it is the same name regardless of how you pronounce it.
Oh, I
Most
see.
Americans it is Stephen. But it was always also a pleasure to meet you, Val. Perhaps we will meet again.
Sure.
Under perhaps I will check the opera house out. Maybe I will see you there sometime.
Maybe. Anyway, it was nice to see you. And she just kind of nods and gets up. Doesn't really shake your hand. She just smiles. Doesn't seem like she's really quite comfortable doing that. And she kind of makes her way to the exit. And as she leaves the diner, you can see her kind of pick something up and, clear a view. It's obviously the cat. And then she just kind of wanders off.
Something kind of strikes me as odd. Okay.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
It's okay.
Someone was knocking at my door this late at night. It was weird.
Oh wow.
It's okay. Continue.
Odd. I kind of sit back a little bit, pick up the coffee. Don't actually drink it, but I just kind of to try to get the flavor. I take a sip, let it roll over my tongue, and then just kind of let it slide back in before I pull it pull it down from my mouth after taking a drink, and then kind of place my hand over the top. A habit to keep coffee warm. and contemplate following her. Thinking I could probably shadow her. Could probably remain unseen. And then kind of backing away from that thought. Might be a little too suspicious, a little too creepy. No. No, 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 no. Don't need to stalk people, Stefan. Don't need to stalk people. Something kind of tugs, though. Something about the whole interaction. Going to gonna make a self-control roll, actually. Well, let's see. Generally, self-control rolls are what, 7 or 8?
Yeah. I mean, what are you trying to do exactly? What are you trying to control, prevent yourself from doing?
Well, he's kind of curious to see where she heads from the diner, but at the same time doesn't want to get caught stalking a person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No. I got one better. No, as he's about ready to get up, perhaps pay leave money on the table for his coffee. Just kind of, he manages to keep himself sitting. Maybe wraps one foot briefly around the table support. Just kind of, no. If things work out, you, yes. There's always a possibility of running into her again. Then perhaps questions can be answered. You're not the stalker. And just kind of actually flag the waitress down to kind of like motion for her to step over to the table.
Okay. The waitress notices you and thinks maybe maybe want some more coffee. She actually comes over with a coffee pot in her hand.
I have a question. You work here quite a few nights, do you not?
Yeah, sir. What can I help you with?
I go through the description of Tim,
Okay.
and I ask her, have you seen an individual man by this description come in here at all on any of your shifts?
And you can see her thinking for a moment, and then she goes, yeah, I think so. I saw him a couple of nights ago.
Interesting. And this has been within the last 2 weeks, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Curious. Has he been coming here often?
Once or twice a week.
Never on weekends, I suppose.
No, he works at the docks, I think, so I don't think he works weekends.
Just kind of curious.
Friend of yours?
Brief acquaintance. He assisted me with something a while back. Matter of heavy lifting.
Oh.
And I was actually contemplating interviewing him for a job.
Oh. Well.
given his obvious profession working on the docks, he could be quite useful in helping me to move heavy materials for my work.
Right, right. Well, I don't know the guy's name, but I have seen him. He just comes in here and orders lunch usually.
Interesting. You wouldn't be willing to possibly do me a favor, would you?
What is it?
Kind of pull out a pen and a notepad and write down my name and a contact number and tear it off and kind of reach into my pocket and slipping the note on top of the bill that I've removed, just kind of passing it to her, passing her the 20 and the note. If you could, so next time you see him, give him that. Tell him I have considered his application and to contact me as soon as possible. That would be quite helpful.
If I see him again, sure.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, thank you. I know it is, not something you're accustomed to doing, but I do give you my thanks for assisting me in this matter.
Yeah.
Quite
Sure.
quite the exemplar in your profession.
Thanks. Do you need more coffee?
No. I'm still working on this. I do not like to rush.
She just kind of nods and goes, "Oh, okay," and kind of goes back to her station.
I take a couple moments, knowing that if I do what I'm thinking about doing, I'll only maybe have 10-15 minutes. But I kind of grit my teeth a little bit and lift the coffee back to my mouth and down the cup.
Do you have to eat food, Merritt?
No, that's why I'm only going to have maybe 10-15 minutes.
Oh, you're going to have less than that. You automatically feel like you're ready to puke the moment you do it. You're ready to go.
Do you really? Is there any way of resisting the urge to purge immediately?
Roll your willpower.
Willpower?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh. That's better.
Okay. Yeah. You can hold it down, but you desire to go to the can right now.
Yeah. I get up while I still have time to actually act normally and just kind of head to the restroom. Is it on this side or the other side of the building?
You'll make it.
Okay. Head to the restroom, just kind of like,
Yeah. You head right into the restroom. And you just barely made it when you just puke it all up into that toilet.
Yo. Now, does blood come up when you do that?
Well, it could. I didn't really think about it. Okay. Yeah, probably. If it's mixing up with the bile in your stomach, that bile is probably not bile anymore. So it does look a little red in color. Whether people would peg it out as blood immediately, hard to say because it's diluted with the coffee. But it's definitely a reddish tinge.
Yeah, I definitely make sure to give the toilet a good old courtesy flush.
Yeah, it'll do.
And then walk back out of the stall, kind of wash up a bit, clean my face off, and then head out of the diner.
Okay.
Let's see. In this area, cabs are not. Cabs don't readily sit on the street in this area because it's not a busy area. Not as busy. What the hell is the Plimpton anyway? I can't remember.
It's in the docks.
Oh, is it really? I forgot.
I believe so.
Um, I'm going to take a walk from the diner to, more the central dock area, about where myself and Axel went to do the thing.
Okay. It's going to take a while for you to get there because it's quite a different distance away from where you guys were to where you guys ended up. But you will make it eventually.
Okay. What's the approximate distance?
It'll take you probably half an hour to an hour to walk there.
Yeah, and then catch a cab from that area across town. And the time frame right now is what, about 10, 11-ish?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. Yeah, so I began walking.
Okay.
Kind of purpose driven.
Okay.
Kind of maybe occasionally, looking back behind me, just kind of staying aware of my surroundings. Cities can be dangerous.
Yeah, you don't really notice anything. You notice the occasional person walking by. When we get into the docks, you notice, a couple weekend dock workers, but it's a lot more quiet today than it usually is during the business days.
Right. especially the night of the disposal.
Right. So, it's pretty low key, very relaxed sort of walk, actually.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I start heading to Axel's typical hangout, and then kind of, instead of heading in, kind of walk to around the back way, and then kind of walk from there. Kind of seeing who's about, kind of gauging the area.
Okay. Actually, no one's really there. Again, it's very low key, and sort of things like that.
You
can roll perception alertness.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Kind of see what the peepers gauge. You're going to a peep show? No.
Alright, so you don't really see any people. You kind of look around and stuff. What you do here is you begin to hear like the kind of, I guess, the summer insects are starting to come in. You might hear a couple of crickets and kind of at the very, very, very lightly, you might hear like a slight call. It's some sort of bird call, but other than that, nothing too weird.
Yeah, the corvids are out now that it's a bit warmer.
Oh yes.
Damn crows. Probably a bit muggy too. Yeah, just kind of like make a circuit and then head back to the Junction 12, the abandoned Junction 12 warehouse, and follow my route, in a good circle around the other side of it, going back to the front, and barring noticing people, head back to like the head of the area that I obviously passed in, to perhaps any businesses, any local hangouts set up for the people who work in this area.
Okay.
And if I'm still just walking,
Sure.
um,
What are
pulling
you
the phone
aiming
out.
to do for the rest of
Well,
this night?
if I don't spot the target, then once I get back to the head of this area,
Hmm.
I'm going to call a cab and head back home.
All right. Well, unfortunately, as you look around, you don't see Tim anywhere. It is a Saturday, though, and evidence suggests that this is Tim's weekend. He's nice and safe at home, probably asleep.
Right? That's
Right.
right, B.
I know. Though, as you call your cab, and you kind of wait for it, you kind of notice something out of the corner of your eye. As you look closer, you see a pair of green eyes and pointy ears, and you recognize this animal. It's the gray tabby you saw before. Again, kind of staring at you from across the street. But he doesn't watch you for too long as he kind of darts in the bushes out of sight.
Hmm. Curious, Val. Curious. Quite curious. Hmm. I just kind of wait there for the cab to come along, however long that is, and just kind of keep my eye on the area across the street. Um, maybe perhaps even crossing the street.
Right. Well, it doesn't take too long for the cab to arrive, but the same feeling you got the first time you met the cat in the alley, you kind of have that feeling again. There's just that little tingling in your spine that something is just slightly off. Something is a little weird around here. But you can't quite put your finger on it. The cat has disappeared. You don't see Val or anything like that either, the one who's carrying the cat. So maybe
Yeah.
it's just the cat, maybe it's her. You don't know. Um, and shortly thereafter, the cab does arrive, but you can't, just scratch the feeling that, maybe something's weird is going on. Who knows?
When the cab arrives, I kind of open the door, but instead of immediately getting in, my eyes kind of dart around a little bit, and then back across the street. And then a
Okay.
thought occurs to me as I climb into the cab and uh, give him the directions to my apartment above that little diner on the north edge of downtown. That's weird. This is awesome. All right. All
Still
right.
says live.
Hmm?
It still
Oh,
says live.